ADPL Season 4. We are finally back, Lodon here, and today I'm not going to give my team or anything, I'm just going to review my game and my preparation for this game. So, I was playing against 48, known as in English 48. He's a black and white enjoyer, he's also a good LBY player, and he plays a bit DPP. He's not a very experienced player, but he definitely has some level in it. So, the scouts. Okay, when I scout this guy, I was like, okay, he's only loading offense. He has like 0 spikes in the scouts, and also like 0 ghost types in the scouts. He only had one team with a Frostas lead, so I was like, okay, he's never going to load this, surely. But then I was like, yeah, this guy is so weak to paraspam. So I decided to bring the classic paraspam. You know, Zapdos, Blissey, Starmie, and Jirachi, with 2 fillers, mostly Machamp, and the last filler can be Clefable, Breloom, Togekiss, or even Tyranitar. So, he wasn't using ghost types, so I was like, okay, I'm going to load double fight. So, I went for the Breloom Paraspam, Breloom with Spore and Priority, aka Mach Punch, and Machamp. So, there we go. Zapdos League against Metagross. Well, I had 2 options for the lead slot. I had Zapdos, which is very good against Metagross, for example. Swampert, depending on the Indian power you are running. Here I'm running HP Grass, so I'm good against Swampert, which is an absolute pain for most paraspam, because ground type, because it absolutely shits on Starmie. Even defensive Starmie isn't good versus offensive Swampert, so offensive Swampert can keep rocks against it. I'm not going again to explain why I don't like Starmie, but Starmie was so good versus him, just because he doesn't run ghost types in these teams, so that was literally perfect. Or I can lead with Jirachi. Jirachi is depending on the sets. It is good mostly versus Latias. If you run Thunder, you are good versus Cavalry, but you are bad versus Metagross, for example. And I know that 48 loves Metagross, loves Flygon as lead, so Zapdos was perfect. I'm going for the Heatwave turn 1, and I got super lucky here because I got a crit turn 1, and that really sucks for him because I'm assuming his Metagross had rocks. So that means he goes for rocks, and then maybe if he has a Tyranitar in the back, he goes on Tyranitar. And even if I have a spinner in the back, spinning means that I'm losing momentum, especially against offense, so that sucks. That's really sucks for him, even if I had a good matchup lead. Yeah, and yeah, he has a Tyranitar in the back. So here I switch, I go on my Jirachi, which is defensive, with U-turn. He reveals Dragon Dance, so I'm like, okay, I'm not going to T-Wave this thing, I'm just going to U-turn on the Machamp, because if he reveals Lumberry, then I'm toast. I lose a turn, and I'm losing my Jirachi. So no T-Wave here, no Body Slam, just U-turn. He goes for the EQ, yeah. EQ, if you run EQ on Tyranitar, most of the time you have Lumberry. So yeah, U-turn was perfect here. Machamp comes in. I'm going to go for the Dynamic Punch, just to see the answer, and the answer is Gyarados. So that's perfect. Gyarados has a lot of attack, so if I get the confusion, he's going to take a lot of damage. Leftovers on Gyarados, good information. He's not Lumberry, it's not Wackenberry or something. I go on Zapdos here. He goes on Starmie, so I'm like, okay. Zapdos was kind of obvious. So I'm assuming this swing is like Specs or Life Form, because I'm assuming he wants damage on the Zapdos. So I'm not going to stay even if it's a free kill. And I absolutely want my rocks up. This is this team. So again, Blissey, Hydro Pump, crit, does a fucking lot. So the crit is a bit bad, but honestly I got super lucky with Metagross though, so I'm not going to complain. But that means that I have to softball with Blissey here, because then I die to 2 Hydro Pump. So I cannot get my rocks here. Softball, Tyranitar comes in. He's going to EQ or Crunch here, but I go on the champ. Yeah, Crunch, so that's fine. I can go for another Dynamic Punch here. No, I'm not going to double switch or something. I'm just going to Dynamic Punch. Because, remember, Dynamic Punch confused the Pokemon. So then if I have a bit of luck, he can be confused, etc. So that's perfect. I go on Blissey here because I want my rocks. And even if he waterfalls again or DD, I have T-Wave, so I just T-Wave this thing and then I can softball freely, put my rocks, etc. etc. So he goes on Tyranitar on the T-Wave. And he's not Lumberry, so I'm like, okay, this thing is probably Shuka, or maybe it can be Shoppo, or even Babiri Berry, but I was thinking of Shuka here. I go for rocks here because they are free. Zapdos, and he really sub DD. So that explains why he went on Starmie earlier, because he absolutely wanted to chip my Zapdos. I'm assuming he doesn't have Ice Fang or something to hit Zapdos, only Waterfall. Maybe it is sub DD with EQ, maybe Double Edge, I don't know. So I go for Discharge here, decided to go for DD. Then he tried to flinch me, but he got another crit. Hopefully I don't get flinched. And I got the kill. Jirachi now, so Jirachi can be literally everything in this team. But I'm pretty sure this thing is a Calm Mind. Just because 48 loves Calm Mind with Jirachi or just Subsian. So if this thing is physical, the play is of course Starmie, because Jirachi is low and I want to keep it. Jirachi can literally win the game solo with some Parasupple, so I'm going on Starmie. He reveals Calm Mind, and I'm a bit afraid here because I have two options here. I can go on Blissey safely, assuming this thing has nothing to touch it, to even threaten it, but I have recently seen a very special set. It's Calm Mind plus Iron Head. So that means that you can bullshit things like Blissey or Clefable, which normally literally counters you. So if I go on Blissey and he reveals Iron Head, then he only needs one flinch and I'm dead. Because Psychic is going... No, sorry, T-Bolt's going to do a lot, and then I'm going to Iron Head %. And most of the time, this set runs Lumberry. So if I go Blissey and it reveals that he has Iron Head, and with a few flinch, I cannot T-Wave, and then if I go on Starmie, trying to T-Wave this, and then bang, Lumberry, and then I lose the game. So I decided to go directly for the T-Wave here. He reveals T-Bolt, so I'm losing my Starmie, but the trade is fine, honestly, because he doesn't have Lumberry, he probably has a Shukaberry, So I'm assuming this thing is Shuffleberry. He goes for Calmite again. I'm going to Smithos this thing just to get damage on it. One para. I'm misplaying a bit here because I should have just soft boiled before attacking. And I get the second para and I kill the Jirachi. Flygon now. So the team is a bit slow, to be honest. You only have Starmie as speed control if you don't run Scarf and Flygon. And Count Tweedle really likes Scarf Flygon, especially Adamant Flygon, so I'm assuming directly that this thing is Scarf. So I think his play is to go for Outrage here, but he can be afraid of my Jirachi with Body Slam, so I think my play is always to go Zapdos here. I can stay with Blissey, of course, because I need it to manage Starmie, and I know that Machamp and Breloom can survive a Outrage and a Revenge Kill. So I go Zapdos here on the Outrage, but they go for EQ, so Zapdos was literally the best play. And remember, earlier I said that I have HP Grass Zapdos, so I'm going to HP Grass this thing, but if he goes on Starmie on the HP Ice or on Tyranitar, he's going to take a lot of damage. So I'm not going to Roost or anything because this thing can be mixed Flygon, so I just want to take damage. He's not mixed, so that's perfect because he switched. If it was mixed, of course he would stayed and click Draco Meteor or even Fire Blast. And I go for HP Grass and I got the kill. Thanks to Sand. And that's the game. Because now the Flygon is locked. So it cannot win. Cannot win, literally. I go for HP Grass again. Ice Punch. Kills. I sacked my Zapdos just because I wanted him to believe that it was my only ground resists, ground immunity here, but as you can see I don't have any ground resists, but I didn't reveal the Breloom in the back. So just in case he goes for EQ, I just want him to force, I want him to be locked into Outrage. So yeah, he goes for EQ and that's perfect. I go for Dynamic Punch just to see if I'm lucky or not. And I am lucky. Anyway, Breloom was winning this game. So yeah, I got a bit lucky. Not gonna lie. The crit on Metagross was so huge for him, but I had a super matchup thanks to my preparation, thanks to the scouts. And that was literally the matchup that I wanted to have, literally. This offense with some setups, with some raw power, with Starmie for example. Starmie which is completely walled by Blissey. And Jirachi, Zapdos is very good against Gyarados. Jirachi is good versus Tyranitar. Machamp is so good. Machamp was so good versus him. Machamp is a Pokemon that he's able to 1v1 literally, not literally, nearly every Pokemon in the tier, so Machamp is so good versus setups. Anyway, thank you for watching guys. Hope you enjoy and I will catch you later.